You're watching Ball State PBS, a community-supported service of Ball State University, known for our innovative approach to education.
Welcome to the town of Eaton, Indiana, where its 1,800-plus residents relish their hometown's close-knit family atmosphere. Nestled along the banks of the Mississippi River, Eaton is home to multiple parks, a community library, and a supportive community culture.
Pittman Richmond Funeral Home of Eaton is owned and operated by the Waters family. Serving all Hoosiers, the professional funeral directors and embalmers of Pittman Richmond Funeral Home offer a range of service options, from burial to cremation to pre-planning to fully customized funerals. The Green Diamond Junction is a small-town restaurant with a big city atmosphere with meeting space for any occasion. Known for the Big Larry, a hand-breaded tenderloin with signature breading, and 1-pound hand-patted seasoned burgers, all served on toasted brioche. Now Entering is made possible with support from the Town of Eaton, Pittman Richmond Funeral Home, and Green Diamond Junction, with additional support from Eaton Church of God, Eaton Veterinary Clinic, Johnson Towing and Recovery, Merritt Tool, and Scheidler Grain Company.
Hi, I'm Trenton Woolham. I am on the Eaton Volunteer Fire Department, and you're now entering Eaton.
Northeast of Indianapolis, and about 12 miles north of Muncie, is the town of Eaton, incorporated in 1873 along the Mississippi River. A century ago, this riverbank was the site of an amusement park, Riverside Park, that drew visitors from far and wide, built by the developers of the regional Interurban Railroad. Life in Eaton today moves at a slower pace. Residents compete to display the most over-the-top Christmas decorations. In the summer, the air rings with the unmistakable sounds of children playing baseball and softball. First responders are a cherished part of the community, and four-legged Jerry Lee might be the favorite. Residents of Eaton will tell you this town is more than meets the eye, especially in the many organizations serving and connecting this close-knit community. You'll see that in these stories told by the residents themselves through their own photos and videos. You are now entering Eaton, Indiana.
I was a real little kid, maybe 4 or 5 years old, just kind of messing around with the fire trucks, putting on fire gear and stuff, and it was just a real good memory I had growing up, having my dad in the firehouse and stuff.
Something I didn't really figure out until I was probably in my teens, that all my uncles I had as a kid, they were all my dad's friends on the fire department. Trenton
Is a third generation. His grandfather was one of the founders at Hamilton Township Volunteer Fire Company. His dad and my dad were real close on the fire department, and me and Trenton grew up together.
There's a picture in there of me and my dad. I'm sitting on his knee and just see the pure joy in his face.
We were cleaning out the station one day, and I found an old white fire chief's helmet, and I picked it up. It was one of the fire helmets that my dad used to wear, which was a pretty cool find. So I took that home and hung it up on the wall. kindergartners always have a field trip to the fire station. We teach them fire safety and what to do if there is a fire.
You always ask them when they first come in, who all wants to be a firefighter? About half their hands shoot up, and it's just, I don't know, growing up being one of those kids, and now I'm actually here.
My kindergarten teacher was actually there with her kindergartners when I was doing the whole fire safety presentation, and so it was kind of cool to see her. And she said, man, I remember when you'd come over here, you'd get so excited, and your dad would be over here when you was a little kid, and that was just kind of really cool to do that.
I was never forced or pushed to be on the fire department. This is all my choosing, and I thoroughly love it. And if I have kids one day, I hope that they do join the fire department.
It'd be nice to carry it on along the line, past me, maybe third, fourth, fifth generation would be cool.
Hi, I'm Michael Dawson. I'm here to talk about the Interurban light rail system and how it affected Eaton, Indiana. The light rail was built through Eaton as part of the Muncie to Fort Wayne route in approximately 1902 and was in continuous operation until January 1941. It was a total electric railroad. The interurbans were in direct competition in most cases to the steam railroads, which they often paralleled. However, a steam engine takes a long time to get up to speed and to slow down for stops, whereas an interurban car, being electrically driven, can accelerate and slow down very quickly. So overall, it made the trip much faster than the steam railroads, and that was one of its main advantages. Well, it was very expensive to maintain the trackage. So interurbans faced greater competition as highways developed and the motor vehicles became more and more popular. So while they enjoyed financial success for the first 20 or 25 years, they began experiencing distress because even though the interurban was faster than a steam train, there was nothing faster than driving your own car and eliminating all those stops. The interurban system was all across the country. It tended to favor flatlands, but you could find it from coast to coast. But the Midwest was a particular hotbed of interurban operation. And in Indiana, the Union Traction Company was one of the largest in the United States. They were based out of Anderson, Indiana, and operated lines in central and east central Indiana. You could go from Indianapolis to Muncie to Fort Wayne, for instance, very quickly and very easily. Eaton being just about 12 miles from Muncie, Eaton had a power plant here and a car barn where a lot of servicing was done on the equipment. They also had a passenger station and saw a lot of traffic. Eaton was blessed to have the car barn and the repair shops, if you will, and the powerhouse here because it provided local employment for residents of the area. Eaton was especially blessed being on the interurban line in that it was the home to the Riverside amusement park. The amusement park was actually built by Union Traction Company and was one of many across Indiana that was built to drive excursion traffic, Sunday traffic especially, to these amusement parks. Even today, there's evidence of the interurban's presence in east central Indiana and in Eaton as well. As the railroad paralleled the steam railroad from Muncie, it traveled on the east side of the steam railroad. When it entered Eaton, it veered off from the steam railroad near the paper plant where the car barn and powerhouse was. It continued up Romey Street past the present paper plant and across the river parallel to Romney Street on its own bridge, continued up Long Street, and then veered due west at North Street and continued on west until it crossed over the steam railroad on a bridge, at which point it turned north and swung on the left side or the west side of the railroad as it went to Hartford City. And then on the west side of the steam railroad, you can see a curving tree or fence line that swings out west and continues north. And that was the route of the interurban as it left Eaton going north.
Hi, I'm Jane Johnson Adams, and I'm here to talk about the Eaton Methodist Church, where I have been there since I was a baby. 1878, we came to the present church. It was donated by fundraisers, but in 1923 it burned, and so they had to rebuild. A lot of the items that were in the fire were preserved. One of them was the beautiful stained glass windows, and we have the skylights are stained glass. We have a very expensive pipe organ that we cherish and try to keep it going. We had a lady that played the pipe organ every Sunday. Of course, she's passed, but and we've been so blessed with having students from Ball State that would come and play our organ and piano, and through the music department. It's a beautiful organ, and if you would come in on Sunday morning and you hear the organ blasting out, it just makes your heart happy. I sang soprano mostly. I have two sisters that sing also, but we would sing trios a lot of times. The Christmas season is so important, and our men's group still, we do luminaries, and we put them around the church for Christmas Eve. The history goes so far back, and that proves to you that we still love Jesus and that that's what we're there for. We're there for the people. Open doors, that's one of our mottos, open doors. And that's what I want people to realize, that they're always welcome in our church.
Eaton is a very fortunate community in the fact that they have had a library since before 1935. And this was housed in the present day Pizza King dining room. After that, the WPA built a community building, and there was a library in the back of that. In 1976, the Sciote sorority sponsored the library once again, where the dining room of the Pizza King is. Then in 1986, it moved to the Legion building in Norseman Park. There, an ambitious group of individuals decided that they thought they could take on the responsibility of building a brand new building, which they did after much vigorous fundraising and a very generous donation from Herb Hamilton. Made this dream come true in the year 2000. We are totally funded by donations, memberships, memorials, and grants, and without these, we wouldn't exist. So I think we have a pretty good town, even though we're small. Individual memberships cost $10, and family memberships cost $20. That's a whole year's membership, and with those memberships, you are provided the access to all of our collections for adults and children. There are computers to use, internet access, DVDs, and the use of ebooks for mobile devices. The library provides programs for children and adults. Some of our children's programs have been a summer reading program for grades K through 5, reading to Charlie, which is a therapy dog, a program, What a Seed Is, with Master Gardeners, and Holidays Around the World with Ball State students. Adults, we have provided book signings. Delaware County Historical Society and the Garden Gate Garden Club also use the library as a meeting place. All of these services would definitely not be available if it were not for our dedicated volunteers. We have no paid staff since we are totally non-profit organization and receive no tax dollars. These ladies keep the doors open 7 days a week. They maintain the building and the grounds and only call on husbands and family members when absolutely necessary. They shelve books, they clean, they decorate, they help individuals find books. Anything that needs to be done, these ladies take care of it. We've had many fundraisers over the years. We have an art show and a books, blooms, and bake sale on Memorial Day. And then in December, we have a Christmas store that helps sustain us throughout the year. I guess we all do it, all the volunteers, because of their love of books and having the opportunity to have so many books available to us. We have a pretty good town that, even though we're small, helps us keep our doors open.
My name is John Brown, and for 15 years I did the Eaton Car Show for the Volunteer Fire Department. People from all over would bring their hot rods and show them off, and we charged a minimum of $5 that basically covered the trophies and covered what they call the dash plaques. The very first year I did it for what they call the gas days. A lady named Dawn Taylor came to me and she knew I was a hot rodder and a car show guy, and she came to me and said, hey, could you put on a car show? And it was a little festival where they had rides and they had games and stuff like that. So I did a car show and it was a pretty good success. And then the following year I thought, we can make some money doing this. And my dad was a fireman for years and my brother was a fireman. So I thought, well, hey, let's go to the fire department and see if they want some money. And I told the fire department, hey, look, you guys show up the day of the show and direct traffic, and that's all you had to do. I'll bring the cars. And they sold raffle tickets for toolboxes and stuff like that to generate money. The most cars we ever had was 366 cars in one day. Approximately every year we generated around $4,000 to $4,500 profit, and for a one-day deal you can't beat that. People would walk around, look at cars. We had vendors set up. They would look at the vendors. We always had good food and good entertainment, good DJ. They've always played the 50s and 60s rock and roll stuff, that we all like to listen to. So about 5 or 6 years in a row, we had a twist contest. And it started out with little bitty kids all the way up to the older people, and it was a lot of good times. I've got a 72 Plymouth Barracuda that I've owned since I was 18 years old. I bought it June the 5th of 1978, and I wrecked it June the 10th, 1978. And my brother-in-law helped me put it back together. As a matter of fact, he did it all. I was only 18 years old, so I didn't know a lot about cars at the time. And I drove it on the street for about 2 years, and then it's been a drag race car ever since. So it's my pride and joy, and I'll never get rid of that car. It's a very expensive hobby, but it's very rewarding, very fun. I got a son, he's 28. He's a car nut too. That's where my cars are going to go when I pass away. So if you guys think you're going to get my car, forget it. He's already got it.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us for the latest episode of Ball State PBS's Now Entering series as we visit Eaton, Indiana. We've seen some great stories already. Hi, I'm Sarah Gullion, a volunteer at Ball State PBS, along with my co-host for the evening, Brandon Smith, another Ball State PBS volunteer. We're so happy you could join us this evening.
The Now Entering series is a unique documentary project. Your friends and neighbors became the filmmakers to tell the story of your town, capturing what makes Eaton special. We met some great people and heard some wonderful stories when we were taping the storyteller interviews you are seeing tonight.
We know that you're loving this program, and there's so much more to come. But first, we need to hear from you. For 50 years, your support has made it possible for us to bring you programming that entertains and educates. Ball State PBS provides those rich experiences that allow us all the opportunity to take a break from everyday life and relax and enjoy ourselves. The Ball State PBS production team spent some time visiting Eaton to talk to the storytellers and learn about what makes this town special. We're here this evening not only to celebrate Eaton, but to ask you to be a part of what makes Ball State PBS special, our members. Your generous gift right now helps create more of the local programming you enjoy and want to see on Ball State PBS. Call right now at 1-800-252-9472 or go online to ballstatepbs.org.
We want to hear from you. Behind us, we have a bank of volunteers featuring some of the storytellers you will see in tonight's program. A few you've already seen. Let's get those phones ringing and keep our volunteers busy. If you know folks who are from Eaton and have moved away, let them know they can go to ballstatepbs.org and watch the live stream right now. You can also watch us on Ball State PBS Facebook page. Don't forget to leave us a comment about Eaton at #NEEaton. Ball State PBS loves going out into the communities and connecting with you by providing the best in local programming. Arts, history, science, and news, as well as providing fun and educational community engagement opportunities. We would love it if tonight you take just a minute and make that connection with us by calling in with your support. Every single dollar makes a difference because it goes right back into serving you, your family, and our entire community. Call 1-800-252-9472 or go online at ballstatepbs.org.
And when we do hear from you, we'll send you the DVD of tonight's program to enjoy. Or maybe you want to send it to a friend or family member. With your gift of $60 annually, or for a sustaining gift of just $5 monthly, we'll send you the Now Entering Eaton DVD. Or if you make a donation of $108 annually, or an ongoing gift of $9 monthly, we'll send you 2 DVDs. We have lots of bonus material on the DVD, including a look behind the scenes of our production day, footage that's not seen in the program, photos, and more. All you have to do is call us and talk to one of the phone volunteers at 1-800-252-9472 or go online at ballstatepbs.org. In addition to those great thank you gifts, we also have Ball State Pbs Passport. With your qualifying donation, you can have access through Pbs Passport to thousands of hours of local and national programming. And the best thing about it? You can watch those programs whenever and wherever you want on your favorite digital device. So if you'd like to get your own copy of Now Entering Eaton and access to all those great programs on Passport, go to the phone or go online now and show your support.
The Now Entering series is a partnership between Ball State PBS and the towns we visit. If you've been watching, you know that the stories tonight are being told by your friends, well, the phone's ringing for the first time, and neighbors from Eaton. You experience the town's character and culture through their perspective. They went out and shot the video, collected the photos, and then sat down with the Ball State PBS crew to tell the stories you are enjoying this evening. Now it's your turn to become a partner with Ball State PBS to ensure that local programs like Now Entering can continue. Call 1-800-252-9472, put these folks to work, or go online at ballstatepbs.org to make a gift of support. It's time to make that call and let us know you appreciate the kind of program you're watching tonight, and you want to see quality local programming continue right here on Ball State PBS.
As a Ball State PBS viewer, you know how important it is that everyone in your community has access to this important resource. When you make your donation of support online or over the phone, you're ensuring that everyone has equal access to the programs and resources here on Ball State PBS. From the vital, in-depth news and documentaries to the critical learning tools and services, the programs here improve and empower your community every single day. Thanks to your support, Ball State PBS can continue to serve you and continue to be your family's vital connection to information, education, performance, and more. If you're already a member, thank you for making all of these experiences available for everyone in our community. If not, please make your contribution today to keep this essential service strong. Call and talk to one of our great Eaton phone volunteers at 1-800-252-9472 or go online at ballstatepbs.org.
And when you make that contribution, we have some great ways to say thanks. For a gift of $60 annually or $5 monthly, you'll receive your very own copy of the Now Entering Eaton DVD. With your donation of $108 annually or $9 monthly, you'll get 2 DVDs, one for you and one to give to a friend. The DVD has bonus material not seen on this evening's program, including behind-the-scenes footage of production day in Eaton, photos, interviews, and more. You will receive our on-the-air program guide and access to Ball State PBS Passport. So make that call now to 1-800-252-9472 or give online at ballstatepbs.org to give now. We are streaming the show live tonight, so if you have friends and family that are from Eaton but have moved away, call them right now and let them know that they can still watch Now Entering Eaton on ballstatepbs.org or on the Ball State PBS Facebook page and join in all the fun tonight. We have several of the storytellers in studio with us tonight, some behind me on the phones, and Phil Hoffman, the general manager of Ball State PBS, is with one of them now to chat about their experience with Now Entering Eaton. Phil?
Here I'm Dr. Phil Hoffman, as Brandon mentioned. I'm the new general manager of Ball State PBS, and the important thing is we're here tonight with somebody who is now officially famous, Jane Johnson Adams. Jane, what's it like to be famous now?
Kind of scary to me, yeah. I hope I don't have to appear on very many shows.
Well, you know, we're glad you're here tonight,
Thank you.
right? And we appreciate all that you've done for us here in this program. Tell us a little bit about the process. You know, it's not every day that a television crew comes to a town the size of Eaton and wants to interview people. So tell us a little bit about what was that like when you got the call and what made you decide to be part of it?
Well, I was encouraged by another person because she was going to do it. She says, you ought to try. And I was really glad that I have. Everybody has been so nice, just very nice. And I can't mention names because I don't want to leave anybody out, but it was just, and to see what they have done with the town of Eaton, showing the beginning of the railroad and then what's going on now, I just think it's so wonderful that we have this opportunity to be a part of this production.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we're really proud of here at Ball State PBS is you don't often see smaller towns getting this kind of attention.
Right.
And this is an opportunity. As I was saying, for a while I was a reporter in regular television news, and the only time we would come to a town like Eaton would be if something bad happened there. And there's lots of good things that happen every single day, and so this is the opportunity for folks in the town to tell that story.
Right.
Well, let's talk a little bit. I mentioned earlier you were famous now, but actually you are already kind of famous in Eaton because of something you do every day that you were telling me about. How do people in Eaton know you?
I like to walk. Yesterday I was able to get out and walk, and it was wonderful. And so I always wave at somebody, and somebody will say, oh, I know you. And I says, oh, you do? Yeah, I see you walking down the road all the time. So, and it's a really good place to walk, a good safe. I know a lot of people go to the Greenway to walk. Eaton's a good place to walk. They have done a wonderful job. Well, I don't know if this is, I guess I'm talking for the street department, because right now you go in Eaton, the streets are really clear. And I think we just have in Eaton so many people that are concerned about keeping Eaton a good town.
Now, you said earlier that you have lived in Eaton for a little while. What is it about Eaton that makes you so want to stay there? It makes you so happy about living there?
I really would like to see. I worked for the town in '64, and I worked for 12 and a half years doing that. And we had such a good ministerial association. That's something I would like to see our town have more interest in bringing people in. We have some factories there, but I'm like you, I think we see too much of the bad, but there's a lot of good. And if we watch this, we'll know the good people that are in Eaton. and just a lot of people that want to see it grow.
Well, Jane, we're so glad you were able to make it here tonight and be part of this program. Thank you so much for participating. We're going to throw things now back to Brandon and Sarah and the whole Now Entering show. Back to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. The Now Entering series is one of the most impactful things Ball State PBS does. Part of our mission is to be the local voice for the communities of East Central Indiana. And this evening, we are bringing you to the voices of Eaton. The wonderful people of Eaton came together to help make this show possible. Thanks to everyone who has called in supporting great local programs that only Ball State PBS, your local PBS station, can bring you. We would also like to thank some of the sponsors of Now Entering Eaton. Thanks to our premium presenting sponsors, the Town of Eaton and Pittman Richmond Funeral Home. And thanks to our presenting sponsor, Green Diamond Junction. Remember, you can leave us a message about your memories of Eaton or what you like about the show at #NEEaton, or share a message with one of our phone volunteers when you call in. And if you haven't called in yet, then now is the time to call 1-800-252-9472 or go online at ballstatepbs.org to make your gift in support. Our phone volunteers are waiting to hear from you.
We're here celebrating the town of Eaton, but there are all sorts of reasons to celebrate Ball State PBS. From programs that inform, educate, and inspire, to educational and entertaining children's programs, to in-depth news, to the best in arts and cultural program anywhere. What better way to support the station that brings you such a diverse range of national and local programming than to make a contribution right now? We make it easy for you to choose the amount. You choose if you'd like a thank you gift, and you choose how you'd like to pay. It's that simple. So give us a call right now, 1-800-252-9472, and talk to one of our great phone volunteers, or go to ballstatepbs.org to make your gift of support on a secure online form.
And when you make that contribution, we have some great ways to say thanks. For a gift of $60 or $5 a month, you'll receive your very own copy of the Now Entering Eaton DVD. And with your donation of $108 or $9 sustaining, you'll get 2 DVDs. The DVD has bonus material not seen on this evening's program, including behind-the-scenes footage of production day in Eaton, photos, interviews, and more. Before we head back to the program, let's take a moment to thank some of the wonderful people who have become members tonight in support of Ball State PBS and Now Entering Eaton. Sarah's got a few.
I do. We have Paige Clary Waters. Paige Clary Waters. She says, "This is so fun." Thank you,
fun.
Paige.
We're having a great time.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Thanks, Paige. And Angie Rapp has also donated in honor of her mom, Janice Crow. Janice is Eaton High School class of 1959. So she probably knows some of these people. Some of these people probably know her. Yeah.
Excellent. Keep calling 1-800-252-9472 and #NEEaton. We'd love to see your comments using that hashtag. We'll read some of those comments on the air tonight as well.
That's right. And we'd love to thank you. If you're not a member of Ball State PBS yet, now is the time to pick up the phone and give us a call at 1-800-252-9472. Or go to ballstatepbs.org and show your commitment to excellent public television that only Ball State PBS can bring you.
Now, I think we're all ready. Let's get back to Now Entering Eaton.
My father was contracted with the Muncie Star as the local Eaton agent. And it was the role of the agent to receive the newspapers from the company in Muncie every morning. They came in large bundles. He'd break the bundles open, count out the number of papers for each of the routes, and then the carriers would come to the house and pick those up. My brothers and I were all paper boys. We were delivering papers together, and my brother Tom pointed off to this field in the distance where we were getting ready to turn and go back in the main part of town. And he said, "There used to be a German prisoner of war camp over there." And I was maybe 13 at the time. You know, this was a complete surprise to me, and my imagination just started running wild. So I started, after that, asking people if they knew anything about it, and to my surprise, hardly anybody seemed to know anything about it. And it was many years later that an English teacher gave me the opportunity to kind of do what would later be called an oral history project as a term paper. Originally, the POWs started off as German soldiers, and they were captured during the final years of the war. So there were camps set up all across the United States in little towns as well as larger communities. And here in Indiana, the big POW compound was at Camp Atterbury in Franklin County, south of Indianapolis. It spun off what are called branch camps, including Eaton. The camp here at Eaton came about because of the Butterfield canning factory. And so they were sent mainly to work in this canning factory, so the prisoners that were here, if they didn't work in the local fields or in the canning factory, might be sent off to other communities around to do odd jobs for like short times. Most of them realized they were better off being here in a POW camp and getting 3 meals a day rather than being on the front line fighting somewhere. So the office manager for the canning factory, when I interviewed him, described the soldiers that were here in 45 as being relaxed and friendly and easy to control. I do know that they left here early in November, and I'm sure that they went initially back to Camp Atterbury, since this was a branch camp of Atterbury.
I'm Christy Burns, and I'm going to talk to you about A Small Town Christmas. The whole idea behind it was to make it a town Christmas party. Maybe people that you don't see every day, but you want to sit and chat with for a little bit, catch up, how's the family. It's a small community, everybody knows everybody, but you may not be able to keep up on their life. We started the first year with some acoustic music, a little bit of food, and Santa was set up in the fire station, and we took pictures for free. We did some crafts with the kids. Over time, though, our Santa setup has become way more elaborate, to where we have something we call Candy Cane Lane that we have built, and it's a nice walkway leading up to the backdrop that we have set up to take pictures with Santa. We have grown as far as how many meals we have been able to serve, how many different raffle baskets we've come up with, which help provide money for the following year. Our kids' crafts have grown and evolved. And we like to make some very messy reindeer food for the kids to spread on their lawn on Christmas Eve. Every year we just try and add something more to it. We started something, Eaton's Own Griswolds. And this kind of stems from my love of Christmas lights and my obnoxiously large snowman and Santa that are in my yard every year. We have come up with signs, and it says contestant number, and you put it in your yard. And you can either have it themed, or you can have it crazy clustered, whatever you like, whatever your heart desires for your Christmas lights. But we put out a list about a week before A Small Town Christmas so that families can take a drive around, write down their favorite ones, and they vote. So we have a prize for first, second, and third place. And what I would really like to do is to be able to pay the electric bill of the first place prize winner for Eaton's Own Griswolds. I love Eaton because it's a small community where I feel safe with my kids playing in the yard, and they grow up with their friends close by, and everybody watches out for everybody here.
My name's Monica Lambert, and I'm here to talk about Riverside Park. The Carter family had turned it into a huge amusement park, and they had riverboat rides. They had dammed up the river, and it was called Carter Grove, and they sold it to Union Traction Company, I believe it was in 1901. And then it became Riverside Park. The traction company built the pavilion, built the bandstand, and it was all to promote the electrical train use, which was the Interurban. They were trying to attract as many people as they could to ride the Interurban. That was their goal. This park was a destination for a lot of people to come to. They would dress up to come there. It literally lasted for years and years, and it attracted thousands and thousands of people. When they would horse and buggy to this park, there was like a 2-acre parking lot for your horses and your buggies. They had a steam-powered merry-go-round, they had a Ferris wheel, they had a shooting range. Of course, you could fish, you could go boating, you could go swimming. The pavilion offered a skating rink. They offered dancing. John Philip Sousa played on the bandstand. This was way before he became famous. I have a dear friend, Jenny Irving. She gave me pictures of her great-great-granny and her 3 daughters. They all played piano and maintained the building inside. So they cleaned up and they served food, they cooked, and miniature train ride was there. And so it was fabulous for the entire family. A lot of gatherings, a lot of reunions. Chief Godfrey was there at one point. It was the place to be for many, many years, the place to be. My great aunt and her brother, Evelyn Roderick, and her brother Clifford, which was my future grandfather, would go out there as teenagers. When I see these pictures of these women in these beautiful clothes, it could possibly be Auntie. When I see these young gentlemen, it could be my grandfather. I mean, they dress to the hilt to go out there and have a good time. There was a fire in 1923. All we know is that it was arson, and it burnt down the 3-story pavilion. Some people didn't appreciate the dancing. It's kind of rumor, I suppose, since they never caught the arsonists, but they suspected that people did not like the dancing, so a couple of people decided to burn the place down. In 1995, we happened to drive by this property, and I looked to my right and it had a for sale sign. We had been looking for a home, and that's how we found it. It was an absolute fluke. Lena Lambert, who is my children's grandmother, she, along with the children, were shoveling this sidewalk off, and it just kept going and going and going, and it turned out to be the pavilion's foundation, a great big circle, just huge. And then, so the children rode their bikes on it. Out of nowhere, you'll be walking around the property, so we own almost 5 acres, and you'll look down and you'll find things like a very ornate fork on both sides. At one point, literally just walking around the property, is a gas valve, very ornate gas valve. And a few years ago, when we first got the property, I literally pulled this beautiful light fixture out of the ground. And you can just imagine how they might have been lined up inside the pavilion, hanging from the ceiling. Our property today, it still feels like a park. Absolutely feels like a park. The river's beautiful. We have kayakers go by. I try to wave to them, ask them how the river is. In the wintertime, the geese settle on the river, and that's absolutely stunning to look at. I've been there 26 years, and there hasn't been a day gone by that I haven't been grateful to be there. The beauty of the place, the serenity of the place, it's very peaceful. The views are stunning all year long, no matter where you look.
Hi, I'm Linda Smith, and I am here today to talk to you about the 1950s when I went to Eaton School. I think what I had most fun in school was my cheerleading days and the basketball games that we always went to. I graduated in 1957. There was about 35 students in my class. Basketball was probably the most popular, but every once in a while the school would have a show or something for all the students to go and go in the gym and watch and stuff. And they had several of those through the years. When we tried out for the cheerleading, we got to go in front of the whole school system. They come down to the gym and they could watch us try out, and then they got to vote. The whole school voted, not just, teachers. And I tried out every year. All the teachers I ever had was nice, really nice. There was not any that I didn't, like. I liked typing, and I liked shorthand. I liked English, didn't care for history. The teacher wanted us to learn about the history and all the presidents, over time, and I didn't think that was necessary, and I told her, I says, well, who cares about all those old people? And of course, I thought maybe I was in trouble, but she laughed about it. She thought it was funny. But I still had to learn them, still had to learn their names. The seniors, we always done extra things to help make money to go on our trip. Went to Washington, D.C., and we went to New York City. So that was really fun. Walking down New York streets and looking in all those windows and seeing all the stuff that they had in windows and stuff that just, I don't know, it was just really amazing. School mascot was the Norseman, and they're supposedly a Viking. And I am glad to see the Norseman name up on the water tower because it still brings back memories and stuff for when I was in school.
Buck Stewart is a well-known former town marshal, department here in Eaton, I think from the 50s to the 60s. Rode a horse named Rusty through town while on patrol. He's known for his quick draw. He was a gunslinger, was in a lot of competitions, and he did everything. He was street department, sewage department, water, and the town marshal. And also served on the volunteer fire department here in Eaton for, I think, 18 years. He's always stood out in the community, even today. I love the small town atmosphere. I lived here since a kid, moved away for a little bit, but come right back here. My dad, he grew up here as well as a child, with his dad being the marshal. And now, when I was a child, I was watching my dad get ready, getting in a police car and getting in a uniform. And that always kind of stuck to me, and I thought I want to do the same thing. And that's how I got involved. My grandfather, John Liggett, was a town marshal here for 36 years. My father, Ron Liggett, was deputy chief of the Eaton Police Department for around 7 or 8 years. And then I got into it. And now I've been here since 2011 to now. I chose to stay in Eaton as a police officer, even graduating the academy. Doing so, that opens the door for me to go to other agencies in Indiana. I choose to stay here. I love the small town atmosphere. I love knowing who I'm dealing with for the most part. People that I've known growing up since a child, I'm able to help them now as they're getting older. Help them with maybe their house has been broken into or their car was broken into, and it's a rewarding feeling. And this has just been home to me. I was a reserve in 2011, was promoted full-time 2015, graduated Police Academy in 2016, and then became a canine officer. We've had a former canine here that passed away. We kind of spoke about getting another canine unit, and the community was all for it, and I was lucky enough to get that position. The community come together and helped raise the funds to purchase this canine. Local businesses here in town, citizens have donated, purchased shirts and things like that. We went through a canine facility where we purchased our canines from and selected Jerry Lee. He came from Belgium, and the family had named him Jerry Lee from the movie Canine, and that's how he got his name. We have been together for 6 years. He rides around town with me all day, every day. We work together every day. He goes home with me. He's trained in apprehension, narcotics, tracking, and there's times that we may get called out to try to locate a missing child or for silver alerts for elderly subjects who may be lost. Jerry Lee has definitely, he's made a name for himself here. He's well known, not just through Eaton, but through Delaware County. I'm very proud of him. The people in Eaton are proud to have him here,
He has definitely deterred a lot of crime and helped us solve a lot of crimes, and he's made a name for himself here. It makes me look good. My grandfather always said, if you got half the people mad at you and the other half don't, you've done your job. You have to treat people with respect, to have a heart, be compassionate. The most rewarding aspect of my job is helping victims and to help children that are in unsafe environments. We do have a very good proactive department, but we have a good support system, and our community supports us in this town. And the people help us and we help them.
Aren't those stories wonderful?
They really are. It's great to hear all the generations that stay there. And
I wish Jerry Lee was here with us
No
tonight.
kidding.
We'd probably
Wouldn't
get a
that
lot
been
of folks
fun?
calling on the phone if we had Jerry Lee parked right here in front.
Sounds
but
like he's
that's all right.
popular. Yeah. Hi, I'm Sarah Gallion along with Brandon Smith, and we're taking a quick break from the program. Thanks for joining us this evening for Now Entering Eaton, the latest episode in the Now Entering series. We want to remind everyone that in addition to watching this on TV tonight, we are streaming live at ballstatepbs.org and on Facebook. Be sure to comment with #NEEaton. And thanks to all of you who have called in with your support. We have a few here.
We do. I'd like to thank Linnea Tharp, called in to get a DVD for her sister in Florida. Thank you, Linnea, for giving us a call.
Great. And also Barb and Brent Miller. They're the proud parents of Paul and Megan and their family, and they enjoy the Now Entering series.
And a big thanks to Tim King of Eaton for calling us tonight. Hello, Tim. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Tim. And also David Williams of Eaton. He says that he loves ball season and the kids' events in Eaton. Thanks so much.
And Preston Cross of Muncie, who worked as a bank manager in Eaton at First Merchants for almost 25 years. Preston, thanks for calling tonight.
Great. All right.
And we want to take a moment to thank a few of our wonderful community sponsors: Johnson Towing and Recovery, Scheidler Grain Company, Merritt Tool, and the Eaton Church of God. There has been a lot of activity happening behind me on the phones, letting us know that you appreciate the programming we provide you and your family and friends every day. Programs like the Now Entering series that gives local communities an opportunity to tell their own stories the way they would like to tell them. And you're not going to find that anywhere else but here on public television on Ball State PBS. Our crew spent the day in Eaton working with the storytellers to help create the Now Entering Eaton episode you are watching tonight. And our editors helped craft each individual story using their interviews, photos, and videos. Each person had so much pride when they were telling their story, and Ball State PBS takes pride in being able to bring you quality, local programs like Now Entering. Let us know you are enjoying this evening's show by calling 1-800-252-9472 or go online to ballstatepbs.org and make your donation. When you give $60 or a sustaining gift of $5 a month, you'll receive the Now Entering Eaton DVD as a thank you gift. The DVD has bonus footage that you will not see on this evening's show, including behind-the-scenes footage of production day, extra interviews and photos, and a story about the Hance House in Eaton and famous Prohibition-era gangsters who lived there for a time. If you contribute $108 or a sustaining gift of $9 a month, tonight we'll send you 2 DVDs of Now Entering Eaton, one to keep and one to give to a friend or family member.
On Ball State PBS, you find programs that cover a vast world of information, culture, and learning. Like this one, where we're learning all about wonderful neighbors in Eaton. It's something Ball State PBS brings to you every day, an appreciation for the community and the world around you, allowing you to see things in a different light. Member support like yours is especially important and powerful as we plan more local programs, outreach, and initiatives. By calling one of our phone volunteers right now and making a financial contribution, you can ensure that we will always be able to bring you a variety of engaging experiences. It just takes a few minutes. Join us now online at ballstatepbs.org or call 1-800-252-9472. And thank you for making more great public television possible on Ball State PBS.
Everyone can benefit from access to arts, nature, science, and innovation. That's why Ball State PBS invests in programs like Nova, Nature, and Masterpiece. It's why we produce local shows such as Wellness Matters, The Roundtable, and Now Entering. That's why Ball State PBS partners with many community organizations on projects that focus on education, arts, health, and economic development. When you make your donation of support online or over the phone, you're ensuring that everyone has equal access to the programs and resources here on Ball State PBS. Thanks to your support, we can continue to serve you and continue to be your family's vital connection to information, education, performance, and drama. And remember, the key to all these wonderful programs is you. This is your chance to help sustain and support the station you and your community watch, enjoy, and cherish. If you're already a member, thank you for making all of these experiences available to everyone in our community. If not, please make your contribution today. 1-800-252-9472. When you make that contribution, we have some great ways to say thanks.
That's right. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call 1-800-252-9472 or go online at ballstatepbs.org and show your commitment to excellent public television that makes a difference. If you make a gift of support tonight with a contribution of $60 or $5 monthly, we'll send you the Now Entering Eaton DVD. And if you can give a little more with a gift of $108 or $9 monthly, you'll receive 2 DVDs of Now Entering Eaton as a thank you. The DVD is full of bonus material that's not in tonight's program, including behind the scenes at production day at the library, more photos, and extra interviews. And don't forget, with your qualifying donation, you can take advantage of a very special member benefit called Ball State Pbs Passport. Passport brings you thousands of hours of great PBS and local programs wherever you want to on the PBS app, your streaming player, phone, or tablet. You can catch up on shows that you may have missed or revisit some of your favorites. And the best part is you can watch whenever you want. It's a one-of-a-kind benefit that comes with supporting Ball State PBS. So don't wait any longer. Please call 1-800-252-9472 or go online at ballstatepbs.org.
Our world is filled with never-ending wonders that amaze, surprise, and delight us. And one of the great things about this series is that it celebrates the wonderful stories of East Central Indiana, the history, the town spirit, the people, the uniqueness of each story of our 50 years Ball State has been committed to bringing all of this into your home. Our purpose is clear: to be an invaluable source of news, ideas, and inspiration. Your donation is really an investment into your community, helping ensure that there will always be community center programs right here on Ball State PBS, and that everyone has access to essential learning tools and educational resources that really make a difference. Our Eaton phone volunteers are very busy, but they're waiting to hear from you. 1-800-252-9472, or you can go online at ballstatepbs.org. Now it's time to head over to Phil to talk with another one of our storytellers. Phil?
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Sarah. We so appreciate you being here tonight. You know, as you ring in here tonight and you pledge your support, become a member here of Ball State PBS, you're powering the engine that is Now Entering. So we hope you'll make that call real quickly. And right now, we're excited to have another very special guest in the studio with us. This is Monica Lambert. You know her now because you just saw her a minute ago.
Yes.
Monica, tell us a little bit about Eaton and what makes Eaton so special to you.
Oh, Eaton is, what a special little town. Their biggest asset is children, and they are all devoted to the welfare of all of our children. It's fast, it's wonderful. And it's just a small, sweet little town. Everybody helps everybody.
Now, you said you've been there for a number of years.
26.
So that experience of 26 years, how has the town changed and how has it not changed in 26 years?
We've had businesses come and go. I hope I can mention a name.
Sure.
Dave Greider, he had a video store for 30 years, and he was in like 3 different places and ended up in a grocery store as a video store and a grocery store, and that was the end of his 30 years, and I think now it's going to be a diner. So businesses have come and gone, and the bank that used to be a bank is now where everybody goes and pays their water bill, and I think progressive with the sports, the t-ball and the baseball. It's just crowded, and the grade schools, when they have grandparents' day, when all this COVID stuff is over, there is standing room only. That's how excited everybody gets over the children.
Now, I have to tell you, I'm very doubtful of your story in this episode. You didn't know that the property was the old site. You really didn't know?
No.
No kidding?
No, we drove by. I said, hey, that's for sale. And anyway, we delved into it, and we had to gut the house. And then people started to come by and say, did you know this was a park? And of course, no, we did not know. And so for the last 26 years, I've just gotten more and more information.
You know, it was amazing to me to see you hold that. Is it a shade from a lamp?
It was, I pulled it out of the ground, just a light fixture that hooks onto a ceramic fixture. There's like 3 prongs, and it was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was amazed that it even survived all these years in one piece.
Pulled it right out of the ground.
Huh. And did you wind up putting it into the house? Do you have it somewhere?
It's in the house.
Yeah.
It's not set up yet, but it is in the house, yeah.
Yeah. Well, after you think about the whole time period when the pavilion was in existence, what do you think that would have been like to be a person going there back then?
Oh, goodness. The clothing they wore, just a place of camaraderie and sports. They had a steam-powered merry-go-round, Ferris wheel, shooting range, just like I said, the place to be every weekend.
Well, Monica, thank you for coming in.
You're
we really
welcome.
appreciate it. And if you ever want to go to the park, you know who to see now. You go right there. We'll throw things back to Brandon and Sarah now. Thank you, Monica.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Phil. It's great to hear more from our storytellers. Remember, we are also streaming live, so if you have friends or family that don't live in our viewing area, they can watch us online at ballstatepbs.org or on our Facebook page. And make sure to comment about your memories or stories of Eaton, or just say hi at #NEEaton. The Now Entering series is truly a community effort, and we want you to be a part of what keeps programs like this on Ball State PBS. Thanks to everyone who has called in already with your support, including Nicholas Irving, who made a note. That riverfront property was amazing. Agreed, Nicholas. Wasn't that very cool?
It was cool. And we also heard from Manuel Castillo, and he says, hello from Kansas. Wellington, Kansas.
Calling from all over the place,
Yeah.
streaming online. That's great. Kim writes, hello to Kim Wright. She called tonight in honor of Fred and Jana Hollowell. They love Eaton. Fred was a volunteer fireman. So thanks for calling tonight with your support.
That's great. We also heard from Molly Huffman, and she says, such a fine presentation. And she says, shout out to Julia Shaw and Pam Smith.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to our phone bank folks. That's wonderful. You know, if you haven't called in, now is the time to make that difference to ensure the future of public television in your community. It's easy to do and just takes a few minutes. And it really does make a big impact. Call 1-800-252-9472 or contribute online at ballstatepbs.org. Now, let's get back to Now Entering Eaton.
Community Day, it's been going on for 9 years. Our goal is to bring the community together. I wanted to give back, to do something to help Eaton, and when we started having the problem with all the factories leaving and it really hit small towns, I thought would it be nice to have a free rummage that we invite everybody to come and get whatever they need. We try to make sure there's a lot of kids stuff, electronics, kitchen stuff, anything you can imagine. We have at the rummage that people can just go and just pack bags, whatever they need. And then after they get through shopping, they get to enjoy the day with their family and in the community. We cook hamburgers, hot dogs, have chips, brownies, drinks. Everybody can come and enjoy the day. There's lots of activities for the kids. We do tattoos for the kids. We have bubbles. We get a bounce house. There's cornhole to play. One of the big things that people like is we have a prize walk. And that pretty much is a cakewalk. Instead of cake, you get prizes. The police bring the canine demonstration out and show everybody what their dogs can do. One year we had EMTs so the kids could see inside. They took blood pressure checks. And that's pretty much why I wanted to start it, just to have something fun for everybody to do. It didn't cost them a thing. The Little Angel Gift Shop is a shop we set up for children to come and pick out gifts to give to their parents and their grandparents and their siblings. Children love to give, and it's a good way to teach how to give, and it takes the burden off the parents. There's nothing more joyful than watching kids getting something and getting it wrapped, knowing that there's something under the Christmas tree that was given by them. We have the Angel Gift Shop in the Fellowship Hall at the Eaton United Methodist Church. We usually have it on the first Saturday in December. The Angel Gift Shop is for all kids. We don't turn any kids away. And we do include the surrounding area, so you don't have to be someone who lives in Eaton to take part in these things. These events, especially Community Day, is for everybody. We want everybody to come and enjoy the people, get to know your community again, and just have a good time. It's all donated and volunteers. People volunteer from our church, their families, my sisters, their grandkids, kids. My husband and my 2 boys. My nephew has been doing the DJ. And if anybody wants to join with us in Community Day, we'd be more than happy to get other people involved and make it as big as we can.
Hi, I'm Derek Mitchell, and I'm with the Eaton Baseball and Softball Association. We do baseball and softball. We also do t-ball. We are lucky enough that we're able to pull from other smaller communities, and this last year we ended up having probably over 200 kids. Hopefully we continue to grow.
Eaton Baseball and Softball Association is just our small community. We have our own league. I started playing baseball or softball here when I was 5 years old, and I played all the way up until I was 18. It's really just about keeping it fun, I think, and getting them to keep coming back. We're really involved in the community, so we look for things that can get not just our kids involved, but like we have a parade on opening day that really brings in the whole community so they can see the kids. So that also gives some exposure to the league and lets us reach out to others in the community.
As an organization, due to COVID and our beliefs in the smaller businesses that were supporting us and sponsoring teams, they were struggling as well as everybody else, but yet they were still sponsoring teams in the organization, and we felt that it was better to give back to them more. So we're going to stray away, I think, from the major league teams, and we're all going to be Eaton. It's going to be just an Eaton team, and then to separate the teams from each other, it'll be Pizza King or Sunoco, the local businesses that actually sponsor a team and get their name out there more. I think we just want to bring back to the community the love that we feel from the community and how much that they give to us.
The community has been a huge supporter of EBSA, starting with the town council. They have helped us when we built our new concession stand. They've helped us with various projects, scoreboards. We had to get 2 new scoreboards. Those were big price items that they really helped out with.
What we really strive to do is make sure that every kid has an opportunity to learn and play any position that they want to play. So constantly moving kids around. There's no set pitcher, there's no set first baseman. Everybody should get their chance to play that position, so they've got to learn.
I think the other thing that we take a lot of pride in is that we know that EBSA is more than just baseball and softball. Just a lot of life lessons that come in with the sport. So we harp on that just as much as we do anything about the sport.
Our goal is to just keep them focused on being active and doing things that they want to do that's healthy. We want them to have a good time, and we want to make it a fun league. I love Eaton because it's just such a small community. You pretty much know everybody that lives here, and I love being part of that small community.
Hi, I'm Pamela Smith. People would have remembered me as Pam Smith. I grew up in Eaton. I was 8 years old when the centennial happened in 1954. And I remember much about the centennial because my father was on the committee that was planning it. It was an extensive committee, but he saved many things, and I've been able to review those a bit and have enjoyed thinking about it. The centennial was from Saturday through the next Saturday. Well, the planning for the centennial, as I've looked back through the information, was more demanding than I would have thought at the time, of course. Looking back through the book, the scope of the things they chose to put in the pageant and the events that they planned. They had events every day, contests and games and different kinds of things. And they must have met many, many times. And I think totally there were 61 people on the main committee. They had obviously done a lot of research about the dresses, and they were usually prints. It was to mimic 1854. All of them were long, and they had full skirts. And mine matched my mother's in fabric and style. The beards were the most distinguished features because at that particular time, I don't think it was really all that common for the men to wear beards then. What I remember about the pageant was that it wasn't like a play. It was more like a tableau where people were in position and someone spoke about what you were seeing. And some of the scenes were about war. Some of them were about our native population in the early history of the time, about the gas boom. And it was also included high school students toward the end of it and kind of had a presentation about the future. I love Eaton because it was a place that I grew up in feeling safe. It's just a good place to be.
Many believe that a funeral home is a place of death, where we say that it is a place of life and love. It brings people together. No other space in the community you'll see men cry and men hug, but it's that safe space that we can offer to our families and our community. Like many small towns here in Eaton, there's been a local undertaker for over 100 years. Brian Pittman served as a Delaware County coroner, and his mortuary was in the original mortuary here in town up on the main street. Now, in 1955, Mr. Pittman and his wife Virginia decided to build a new funeral home in town, and it was built locally by the Wright family. They continued to serve as the town's funeral director and funeral family up until 1971, when the funeral home was purchased by Bob and Jan Richmond. Bob and Jan Richmond worked and lived in this town and served families throughout the community up until they sold the funeral home to my parents in 2003. We collect pieces of that made someone who they were, and we've been able to label those in memory of so-and-so and in memory of them. And we've kind of made the funeral home a bit of a living museum of those community members, and that's really important to us that we continue that. We have people that when they visit the funeral home, they go and visit their little area. They want to see their wife's painting on the wall or their loved one's hat, and they look for that. And I think it does provide comfort, it provides community, and it just shows that it's not just a business punching the clock. It is part of the community and has been for over 100 years. Myself and a fellow funeral director, Ryan Ballard, we decided to start a podcast back in 2018 because we just believed there was a lack of information on what we really do as funeral directors, and we wanted to have just unscripted, open conversations about what it was like to be a funeral director. And over 3 years later and 300 episodes, undertaking the podcast is probably the largest funeral podcast in the world, listened to in over 50 countries. The podcast has given Ryan and I many opportunities to travel and actually speak to funeral directors about what we've learned by interacting with each other. We've traveled to Washington State twice. We've toured all different kinds of facilities, from natural or organic reduction to green burial, natural cemeteries. And we've traveled to Memphis, Nashville, Chicago, all the while interviewing our peers and funeral directors and embalmers. Overall, the podcast has allowed me to be able to explain what I do as a funeral director better than ever before. And I've been able to actually come up with a definition for what we do. And I call that what we are as a funeral director is an advocate. We're an advocate for our families who have experienced a death. They're looking for guidance, they're looking for confirmation that their ideas are okay and the new traditions that they create are okay. And we're there to support and guide them through those decisions. I love Eaton because it is a safe and friendly small town. Being in a small town allows me to know people. You see them at the post office, you see them at the gas station, and when a death occurs, they're so happy that when I walk in the door, they know it's going to be me, and they trust me with their loved one.
Back in 2019, I went to eat dinner with a friend, and he had asked me if I had been interested in joining the Cadet program, and I really didn't even know it existed. So I thought I'd give it a shot, and here I am 2 years later. It's definitely something that I would recommend to anybody that has the opportunity to partake in it, just because it's a really good learning experience. Basically, we do training every Wednesday night here at the fire department. So make your training 6 to 8 on Wednesday nights, but most of everything we do, cadets get to participate in and learn the motions, or at least be able to watch us and take from that and go on. So it kind of gets you your foot in the door without being able to actually do anything just yet. So when I turned 18, transitioning from a cadet to a firefighter, I was able to participate and do everything else a firefighter could. When we were taking our mandatory class, they asked all of us, does anyone want to be a career firefighter? And nobody raised their hand. But here last month, we had a house fire, and I was first in interior attack, and then I was like, oh, that feeling of euphoria and just, I don't know, adrenaline was something that I could not compare to anything, which is probably the moment that I was like, okay, I could do this. 2 years ago, you wouldn't have looked at me and been like, oh, she's gonna be a firefighter. I was gonna go to medical school, 12 years, but I think I would love to go and be a career fireman, maybe a flight nurse, paramedic. It definitely opened up a wide range of opportunities for me and definitely shown me what I can do. I'm a lot stronger, and I've came out a lot better from this program. Through the department, I had access to a volunteer firefighter scholarship, which Ivy Tech offers. That made my decision. I stayed here to continue working on the fire department, doing something I really enjoy, which is also getting me a free education to get to where I want to be.
I think it's amazing sometimes to see what these small towns really offer, those kind of opportunities that we don't know about until we watch something like this.
That's wonderful. The stories from our storytellers tonight, it really gives you insight into these towns. I just love it.
They really do, yeah. Hi, I'm Sarah Gullion. I'm here with Brandon Smith, and we are coming to you from the Ball State PBS studios, and it's been great celebrating the stories of Eaton tonight.
We are here tonight because Now Entering is one of the things that as a public television station we love to do. We love to work with our communities. You have great stories and we want to help you tell them. So tonight we are celebrating Eaton, and we ask that you join in that celebration by helping support your public broadcasting station, Ball State PBS. No one else does this. There's no commercial station here that comes to a town and says, tell us all about you, because we want to let other people know all about you and your town. Call 1-800-252-9472 or go online at ballstatepbs.org. And one of the great Eaton volunteers behind us on our phone bank, these great folks, will take your call. Now, we want to take a minute right now and thank those of you who have called in with your gift to Ball State PBS. Sarah, who do you got?
Yeah, I've got Robert Adams. He says, hi to Jane Adams. I think they might be related.
Theldon Thornburg of Eaton called and says, hello, thanks for calling tonight, Theldon. We appreciate your support.
Rodney Qualkenbush is also called, and he says that he would like to challenge other folks to donate to Ball State PBS. We'll take that challenge.
Yes, take the challenge. Give these folks a call tonight. Also, Amanda Vore called from Maryland. It's just wonderful to see that folks from Eaton have just scattered all over the country and are showing their support. Amanda called and gave in honor of her parents, Dan and Linda Vore. Thanks for calling tonight.
That's great. We've also heard from Andrea Holmes Pbs. I hope I said that correctly. And she says, I love living in this little town. It looks like a great place to be. So don't put off making that call. Now is the time to show your love of your hometown of Eaton, and your local PBS station, Ball State PBS, takes pride in serving Eaton and all of East Central Indiana every day with programs you love. We want to hear from you. Your financial support, no matter the amount, really does make a difference. Call 1-800-252-9472 now.
And when you call in with your annual gift of $60 or a sustaining gift of $5 a month, we'll send you the Now Entering Eaton DVD as a thank you. Or if you can give a little more with an annual gift of $108 or $9 a month, we'll send you 2 DVDs as a thank you gift, one for you and one for a friend. There is bonus material on the DVD that you won't see on tonight's broadcast, including a look behind the scenes of production day in Eaton and from the Ball State PBS studios, as well as photos, interviews, and more. All you have to do is call us and talk to one of the volunteers, 1-800-252-9472, or go online at ballstatepbs.org. And with your contribution, you can take advantage of a special member benefit called Passport. Passport brings you thousands of hours of great PBS and local programs wherever you want on the PBS app, your streaming player, phone, or tablet. You can catch up on shows that you may have missed or revisit some of your favorites. And the best part is you can watch whenever you want. I love Ball State PBS Passport. There's such a great selection of fascinating documentaries and series. It's just another one of the great benefits of supporting Ball State PBS. You know, we've talked to a couple of the storytellers tonight, and I think we have one more ready over with Phil to tell us more about their experience working on Now Entering. Phil?
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Sarah. We're glad to be here this evening. The phones are ringing. Eaton, way to go. You are bringing it. You're showing those other towns how to do this. And we're here now with Ann Warfel. And Ann, thank you so much for being here tonight. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about Community Day. You saw Ann just a few minutes ago talking about it. Let's talk about what it means to the community to have an event like this where it doesn't cost anything, but you can do things and have a lot of fun and even get gifts for your parents.
Well, it's a really special event. I've seen just some wonderful things over the years as we've done this. The joy, you know, the kids playing and the families coming together and the community, people seeing people that they haven't seen in a while. It's just wonderful to have everybody come out and just have a good time, pick up some things they needed at the rummage, and it's just wonderful seeing everybody interact together. And I think that's the best part about having the community is, you know, bringing them together, pointing out the good things, especially when, you know, things haven't been kind of rough lately. It's always nice to come out and just forget about your troubles, have a hamburger, and watch the dog. You know, the canine thing is always really neat.
Everybody likes dogs,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Except for cat people, they don't like dogs. So the when you think about the event, has it been difficult in the last couple of years with Corona and all that stuff? Has it made it harder to do Community Day?
Yes, it has. Unfortunately, we had to cancel it in 2000, and it was. I was very disappointed that we had to do that, but under the circumstances, we just felt it was best. We did come together last year, and we did have it again last year, and I was thankful. I mean, we had a smaller attendance, but I was thankful that people did come out, forget about their troubles for, you know, a few hours and play cornhole and win some prizes. And that prize walk's really popular. I think the adults like it more than the kids.
So when you started this project, Did you have any idea that it would grow to be the kind of event that it is now?
I really didn't know. I mean, the very first year, it was kind of funny. We were sitting around in the Sunday school class, and I said, we need to do something for the community. Let's, do something. And I was, maybe have a rummage, and we started talking about food and stuff. And my pastor looked at me and said, well, it's your idea. So I became the chairperson. I've been putting it together ever since, and it's grown. Different people help. We had a really nice gentleman call me last year and offered to make us pulled pork, and it was very good pulled pork. I can't remember his last name. His first name was Larry. He was a really nice guy, and everybody loved his pork, his pulled pork. And anytime we can get anybody new involved, it's just wonderful. Every little bit.
Everything helps.
Everything helps, yeah. And it's nice to have new people and see new faces. And
so we have time for one more quick question.
Sure.
So if folks are watching and they want to help for the next Community Day, how do they do that? What do they do?
You can get a hold of me. I start advertising on Facebook, and so they can, and I'm always on the I Love Eaton Facebook, and they can get a hold of me that way. They can get a hold of the church, because Eaton United Methodist Church is the sponsor. Mm-hmm. That's where we have the event. If they want to go to downtown to the main office, they know how to get a hold of me. So, anything, anyway, Facebook, through the town, through the church, we'll be more than happy to have anybody come. If they want to set up something special there, have a little booth there. Anything to help the community. Of course, it's all free to the public, so whatever.
Yeah.
But, so I would be more than happy to have people join us in the effort.
Well, Ann, thank you for being with us tonight. We appreciate you coming in and telling the story of Community Day.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now back to Brandon and Sarah.
Thanks, Phil. How long have you been watching Ball State PBS? Maybe you start out as a kid, or with your kids, watching Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, or one of my personal favorites, Wild Kratts. Or maybe you discovered the great dramas on Masterpiece, or the in-depth news on PBS NewsHour. Maybe you learned how to cook with Julia Child, or maybe you learned something new about your world on Nature or Nova. Hopefully tonight, you learned a little more about your neighbors in Eaton. Whether you have been watching all your life or just started, you know that the programs on PBS are worth watching. Call now, 1-800-252-9472, or go online to give your support. If you give an annual gift of $60 or a sustaining gift of $5 a month, you will receive your very own copy of the DVD, Now Entering Eaton. Or as a thank you, for an annual gift of $108 or $9 a month, you'll receive 2 DVDs.
Do you love the compelling dramas, the trustworthy news coverage, the enthralling history and science? Ball State PBS is the place you go for all of this and so much more. PBS introduced us to the concepts of educational children's programming. PBS offered original cooking and DIY shows before anyone else. PBS now takes us across the globe, teaching us about other cultures, bringing us a variety of music and fine arts programs, and keeping us up to date on public affairs and news. Ball State PBS has always brought us diverse programming no one else can, and continues to do so every day. Don't let another opportunity to support this program and your local PBS station pass you by. The fact is, the most important source of revenue Ball State PBS receives comes from contributions from viewers like you. Whether you can make a one-time contribution of $100, or if you'd like to become a sustaining member with an ongoing contribution of $5 or $10 a month, all we ask is that you give what you can. It's easy to do your part for the quality programs you love. Go to ballstatepbs.org or call 1-800-252-9472. And thanks.
We embrace the opportunities to engage with people on air, online, and in the community. We believe that is what makes public television special. Some of the storytellers from Eaton have joined us on the phone bank tonight and are waiting to hear from you. some of the loveliest volunteers we've had. They're great. I think they're chit-chatting with family a little bit, but that's okay. They have been great, so keep those phones ringing and let us know you value Ball State PBS and what we bring to you, your family, and your community each and every day. Call 1-800-252-9472 right now or go online to ballstatepbs.org. Thanks to everyone who has called in. We've got some more folks to thank. Sarah, you want to jump in first?
Sure. We're going to thank Sandra Johnson of Dunkirk. She called in honor of Hubert and Georgie Wright and their 13 children from Eaton. Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
Kristen and Derek Mitchell of Eaton, thank you for calling in tonight. They say, we love summer in Eaton, and I couldn't agree more. It's lovely. We've seen some photos of that tonight.
Yeah, definitely. We also heard from Clint and Sherry Ingram, and they say they're happy to see Eaton featured and that it brings back small town memories.
Oh, that's great. Also, Renee Lambert called, says it's a great town to grow up in. You can make sure, I mean, it's clear from the videos and stories we've heard tonight, it is absolutely a wonderful town to grow up in.
Definitely, definitely. Great. Okay, we also want to thank our premium sponsors, the Town of Eaton and Pittman Richmond Funeral Home.
Pittman Richmond Funeral Home of Eaton is owned and operated by the Waters family. Serving all Hoosiers, the professional funeral directors and embalmers of Pittman Richmond Funeral Home offer a range of service options, from burial to cremation to pre-planning to fully customized funerals.
Welcome to the town of Eaton, Indiana, where its 1,800 plus residents relish their hometown's close-knit family atmosphere. Nestled along the banks of the Mississinawa River, Eaton is home to multiple parks, a community library, and a supportive community culture.
Pittman Richmond Funeral Home of Eaton is owned and operated by the Waters family. Serving all Hoosiers, the professional funeral directors and embalmers of Pittman Richmond Funeral Home offer a range of service options, from burial to cremation to pre-planning to fully customized funerals.
Thanks to the support of sponsors like the Town of Eaton and Pittman Richmond Funeral Home and Ball State PBS viewers like you, we can continue to bring a world of information, education, entertainment, and wonder into your home. Make that call now, 1-800-252-9472, or go online, we won't get this one wrong, ballstatepbs.org. It's 1-800-252-9472. You can make an annual gift of $60 or a sustaining gift of $5 a month. If you do that, you'll receive your very own copy of the DVD, Now Entering Eaton, as a thank you. Or for a gift of $108 or $9 a month, you'll receive 2 DVDs. And now back to the program and more great stories.
As a middle school student, I attended middle school here in Eaton. That would have been shortly after the consolidation that created Delta High School. And so I spent my 7th and 8th grade years coming to Eaton, going to middle school. And then about 30 years later, I came back to Eaton as the elementary school principal. The opportunity to come back to my homeschool corporation, when that presented itself, that was just something that I'd always hoped maybe to be able to do, and so I jumped at that opportunity to come back and be part of the Delcom school system. One of the things that occurred while I was here as the principal is that Eaton was designated as what's called a 4-star school, and that's a designation that comes from the Department of Ed, and it's a pretty high honor to receive that. Just a few schools each year across the state are able to get that distinction, and so that was something that all of us were really proud of. Everyone had worked very hard to get to that level. Another thing that happened is when I returned to Eaton after that 30-year period, I discovered that the mascot was no longer the Norseman, which is what I presumed it still was at that point. They had changed the name to Roadrunners. I was told by a teacher that was there at the time that that current principal thought that the kids should get to choose something that was maybe more geared towards elementary students, and I presume the Roadrunner was the most popular cartoon maybe at that time, but that's what they had chosen. So After I had been here for a year or two, I went to the superintendent and asked him if it would be possible to change the name back to Norseman. I just felt like in a small community like Eaton that the history and the tradition of the school was important. I love Eaton because when I came to Eaton, people just embraced what we were trying to do at the elementary school, and I just felt supported and cared for and appreciated, and I think that just continues on. My granddaughter now is in school at Eaton, and I still see that when I visit and when I come and bring her, and I just think again that that's something that you get in this kind of a small town feeling, that it's your family and you're always part of this family. Once you're part of it, you continue to be part of it.
Hi, I'm Lee Earl. I'm here to talk about Edward Maitland. He is a blacksmith artisan. He designed a lot of his metal forging to donate to his parish, his church, and dedicated quite a few forms of his artwork to homes around the Eaton area. Edward Maitland was born in May 22nd, 1892 in Muncie, Indiana. He attended Muncie High School. He went off to Purdue University and University of Chicago. And when World War I broke out, he went into the Army and became a first lieutenant. After the war was over, he come back to the area of Muncie. Then he became a maintenance engineer for the Eaton Canning Company. And in the early 40s, he built a flagstone cottage that he got the flagstone out of the river when it was low enough he could go down there and forge it up. And he built the cottage that I and my wife live in now. The house is as solid as the day it is that it was built. After the cottage was built, he started on his blacksmith shop and had a working forge. He had a primary blacksmith shop, which was in Muncie, and this was kind of his secondary. In the cottage that Ed Maitland built, that we reside in now, where he built little alcoves in the house on the outside walls, give the house a really unique, homey feeling. The original windows that Ed Maitland built to fit the style of window casing that he built on that cottage, they had been previously removed, and we use them now as a garden fence alongside the blacksmith shop. One particular house that Ed Maitland designed a staircase railing for. It's beautiful. It's a two-story home. The artwork that he designed it's so dainty for the spools that hold up the railing and everything. I mean, there's twists, there's bends, there's all kinds of detail etching in the spools and the handrails and everything, and it goes all the way up to the second floor. Pretty much does a 90-degree bend, and it's all the same throughout the whole work. Mr. Maitland was a very religious man. He was Episcopalian, so his parish was at the Episcopalian Church here in Muncie, Indiana, here on Madison Street. He made a lot of decorative candelabras. He didn't build the pulpit, but he designed the intricate artwork and metalwork that encases every bit of the pulpit. There's one particular item that was donated to his parish that Mr. Maitland and Alphonse Dix designed and built, and it took them 3 years to design and build it. It's called a rood screen, R-O-O-D, and in European English, rood means cross. The rood screen is based around the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. There's roses that he made to fit that rood screen, which represents God's love for all mankind. The triangle foliage is the Holy Trinity. There's a dove in one of the panels up above, which is the Holy Spirit, and the 12 apostles, 6 on each side, which are represented in triangles on each side of the triangle foliage. But other than that, it's a beautiful piece of artwork, of craftsmanship and dedication to the people he loved that he wanted to share his gift to. When I look at Edward Maitland's blacksmithing artwork, It is so much detail involved and time consuming that it's no wonder that all his pieces are just worth so much and so beautiful.
My name is Rhonda Caldwell, and I'm the director of the Eaton Community Food Pantry. I started volunteering in 2012. After the unfortunate death of the founding director, Deb Skinner, I took over and have been the director ever since. I had some personal tragedies and needed a place to center myself, and helping others, watching people walk away with a smile, knowing I did something to make them smile, really did that for me. Our philosophy is we don't want there to be any kind of shame. We want it to feel homey and comfortable, and like you're just coming to your friend's house to hang out for a little bit and they're gonna help you out. We don't have uniforms or smocks. We all usually wear a t-shirt and jeans just like everyone else. We just try to keep it as low-key and casual as we can. Everybody has been in a spot where they've needed help, whether they're the minister or the town marshal or the girl that works at the gas station. Everybody needs help once in a while. We always have an emergency food box if anybody needs anything. We have a clothing bank that's open once a month, fire pantry, for anyone who's in the area that's had a fire. Curtains, household items, decorations for the walls, toys for kids, clothes, and we do, offer food if they need it. And then at Christmas time, we do the Christmas stockings and a toy giveaway. We are moving to the grocery store that was downtown. We have been gifted the back portion. We're doing some renovations. We're gonna be adding a clothing bank. We're making our fire pantry larger. We're hoping with having our own space that we'll be able to have it open once a week, because just because we give it away on the third Saturday doesn't mean you didn't need it on the second Saturday. So we're hoping to accommodate the needs more freely. We are who we are, and we do what we do every month because of the generosity of our community. That is how we stay going. Every month is a guessing game. There are some months where I'm like, okay, God, I need some macaroni and cheese and peanut butter money. And it never fails. Somebody will show up with some peanut butter, or I get a check in the mail from the church or a private citizen, and it works, but it would not work if it was not for this town. I love Eaton because everybody knows everybody, and they're still willing to help everybody.
Hi, I'm Barbara Broyles, and I'd like to share with you about the outdoor recreational and other opportunities in Eaton. We applied for a Hometown Indiana grant, the Eaton Park Board. It was kind of a daunting task because none of us had a lot of experience with grant writing. But in 1998, Eaton and Cardinal Greenway were the two places that were awarded that grant. So we began the project groundbreaking in December of 1998. And it seemed like an odd time to be starting, but it was in the 70s. And you remember Phil Hines and Tim Fowler both had backhoes, and they broke ground. It was a work in progress for quite a while. Tony Beal constructed the pavilion on the northeast side of the park. The Eaton Church of God supplied materials and labor for the gazebo, and it was just kind of in stages, but it was all voluntary, the work that was done there. We put in informational kiosks with history and nature in there, and tree signage. One gentleman who's a mason, Dave Pearson, volunteered to create these beautiful brick columns, and it had a wrought iron arch over it that said Norseman Park. So all this came together, over the years that followed. Right now we have a nice newer playground there for the kids. There are picnic tables and a pavilion. We have a little footpath through the park that they can walk on. We have benches. There's a gazebo, and that's been used for weddings and other musical events. So there's space for people just to get out and enjoy. Cindy Glaze and Principal Scott Blakely at Eaton Elementary decided to go for a grant to put in a 9-hole disc golf course right behind Eaton Elementary. It's now called Delcom Disc Golf. And so they got this grant through the Delcom schools. And there was enough funding to purchase the 9 baskets for the disc golf course, but there was more needed with volunteers to come in and do the labor. In June, we had a gathering called Family Night, and the Blackford County Disc Golf Club came down and taught families how to play, and we've had several of those in the summer. So it's made a good place for the community to gather and to get to know one another better and share in activities. Well, I know a lot of people see wealth just in terms of money, and Eaton has a different type of wealth. It's a wealth in its people, and they're people who really love and care about the community, and they're willing to get out and share their time and their talents to make the community a better place. And many of them just have a deep love for the history of the Eaton area and are just willing to share. So to me, that makes Eaton very special.
I'm Hunter Penrod. I am the current president of the Delta FFA. All my family told me it'd be a great idea, and then as soon as I joined, I was immediately grateful that they did. FFA's been super good to me. I've been part of it for 3 years now.
It's been a great opportunity to meet people at school that relate to me in a different way than everybody else does, not just academically, but outside of school, and everyone that knows about farming and animals, and it's a very awesome opportunity. We went to the FFA National Convention, and being a part of that was really fun. Another thing that's really fun to do with FFA is like soil judging, and then like livestock competitions, like identifying different breeds. It's really hard, but it's really fun. And then like soil judging, like you have to know about the pH and like all the scientific parts of soil, and understanding that can be a very difficult thing.
We've done forestry and things. We've went through walks in different woods. We've got permissions from people to go walk on their property and identify their trees and stuff for practice. And we've had local farmers offer to dig holes for us to do the whole soil judging thing.
Because there's different types of modified plants, and to understand that and understand the soil and how that has to work so you get the better yield, so you can produce more to feed everybody. It's very complicated, and a lot of people don't understand that, and so to teach people is very important. So I'm a 4th generation farmer. My dad and uncle are crop farmers. We plant soybeans and corn and wheat, and that's always been really exciting for me. I love getting to ride with my dad. It's always a really fun time, and like getting to learn how to like drive tractors and stuff. It's a really cool thing. I love harvest. That's always really fun, because getting to ride the combine and like help dad with that is always really fun, and like grain carting is really cool. But I love the spring. That's when I get my pigs for 4-H. And that's when I'm really happy. I love my pigs, and so that's really great. And in the summer, I have them till like August, so that's really a good time.
Personally, growing up, we've had livestock ever since I can remember. That's definitely taught me a lot about how much more responsible I need to be in life. And that spreads throughout the FFA too. It's made me a better FFA president, being more responsible that way.
We work till like really late at night, just trying to get everything done, because like especially with animals, like animals get fed before humans get fed. We take very good care of them. In the crop farming, like you're out forever working, and it's hard work, because when something breaks down, you have to just like keep pushing and keep going. You can't get mad about it. It's like at the end of the day, when like you're with your family and you realize you get to spend time with them, and then you have like these animals that you love and you love to spend time with. At the end of the day, like you're a happier person, and your animals, you can see when they look at you that they know who you are and they care about you because you take good care of them.
Conservation of our natural resources, agriculture. The ethanol and things for fuel is all agricultural based. Waterways, all of that, agriculture. FFA has a hand in all of that. I would really like to be a natural conservation officer. I would really like to do that because there's a lot of wilderness still around here, forestry, all things like that.
We're a big Purdue family. My brother's there right now studying agronomy, and I've always just wanted to go there for a really long time, and they have an amazing vet school, and to be able to go there and participate in that and learn everything I can from Purdue would be quite the opportunity. FFA has opened up the door for me for veterinary just because my teachers are very interested in animals. One of them shows dogs, the other one has every farm animal imaginable. And she wanted to be a vet for a long time, and it's really opened my eyes to the possibilities of what I could do with it. And I love animals, so I think it'd be fun, and FFA has really helped me get there.
Everyone has a story to tell, and we heard some great ones in that last segment. Thanks for joining us for Now Entering Eaton tonight on Ball State PBS. I'm Brandon Smith along with Sarah Gillian, and we're so happy you could join us to celebrate stories from Eaton.
Thanks to the people in town of Eaton for participating in this series. We've enjoyed such a variety of stories this evening, and you can enjoy the stories anytime with your own copy of tonight's program. When you call in with an annual gift of $60 or a sustaining gift of $5, you'll receive the Now Entering Eaton DVD. Or if you can give a little more with an annual gift of $108 or a sustaining gift of $9 a month, we'll send you 2 DVDs, one for you and one for a friend or family member. The DVD includes additional material that you won't see on tonight's broadcast, including a look behind the scenes, footage from the Ball State PBS studios, photos, and more. All you have to do is call in and talk to one of the volunteers at 1-800-252-9472 or go online at ballstatepbs.org.
We want to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors one more time who helped make this broadcast possible. Thanks to our premium sponsors, the town of Eaton and Pittman Richmond Funeral Home. And thanks to our presenting sponsor, Green Diamond Junction.
And thanks to our community sponsors, Johnson Towing and Recovery, Scheidler Grain Company, Merritt Tool, and the Eaton Church of God. A big thanks for all your support. Now let's see who we've heard from tonight, as well as thank a few people who've called in. Brandon, who have you got?
Excellent, yes. A big hello to Summer Penrod, who is saying a hello to folks in Granville. Summer, thanks for calling tonight and thanks for your support.
Great. We also heard from Lori Lewis. She has great memories of growing up in Eaton.
Excellent. I heard from Tracy, Tyler, and Ashley Morris of Eaton. Thank you to those 3 for calling tonight from Eaton.
That's great. Sandy Blair called, and she says thank you to Randall Blair, who was the fire chief of Eaton for 11 years.
That's great. Thank you, everybody, for calling. Please keep calling. Thanks to all of you who have called in for sharing, supporting, and being part of viewing experiences that you'll only find on Ball State PBS.
That's right. The mission of Ball State PBS is powered by our common spirit, the spirit of public service and community enrichment. Ball State PBS is here for all ages and backgrounds, from tiny tots to grandparents and everyone in between. If it's quality television with impact, you know you'll find it on Ball State PBS. But we need your support to keep programming that's entertaining, educational, and innovative on Ball State PBS. Programs that you can't find anywhere else. Programs like the Now Entering series. Ball State PBS loves being able to connect viewers with the great local stories and storytellers through this series. Call now at 1-800-252-9472 or go online at ballstatepbs.org.
Part fundraiser, part community builder, part historical and cultural documentary, and part day in the life video scrapbook. Now Entering shares the local legends, historical happenings, and backyard secrets of our towns. Ball State PBS believes in making the communities we serve better. We do this through our community engagement activities like our Ready to Learn camps, Be My Neighbor Day, and through the local programming like Wellness Matters, the Roundtable, and of course, Now Entering. When you call in to support Ball State PBS, we have some thank you gifts for you. With your gift of $60, we'll send you the Now Entering Eaton DVD. Or for a gift of $108, you'll receive 2 DVDs to say thank you. We have lots of bonus material on the DVD, including behind the scenes of production day in Eaton, plus photos and videos not seen in the broadcast tonight, and a story about the Hance House in Eaton and famous Prohibition-era gangsters who lived there for a time. All you have to do is call 1-800-252-9472. These folks back here are doing a great job answering the phones. You'll talk to them. Or you can go online, ballstatepbs.org. I believe Phil has another one of our storytellers with him to talk more about their experience. Phil.
Thank you, Brandon. Yes, absolutely. We are here with a young man you just saw a few minutes ago. Hunter Penrod is joining us right now live and in our studios here at Ball State PBS. And please keep calling. We've got some great volunteers, and this is your last opportunity during this program to become a member of Ball State PBS and support this important work that we do in the Now Entering series. So we hope you'll give us a call right now. Hunter, thank you for being here this evening.
No problem.
Well, you know, we saw you in the show. You're talking a little bit about the experience in FFA and the things that you all do. Tell us a little bit about how you got started. How did you get interested in being part of FFA?
Well, family. My brother was the president of FFA when he was my age. And then just being behind him as a kid, just watching his footsteps as he went through FFA, what he had to go through, like how he changed when he was in FFA, how he became a better leader through it, and then just the overall atmosphere of what the FFA community's like. Like when we went to National Convention, everyone there was so friendly. It was just a great atmosphere. That's why I joined FFA.
And when you are in the process of doing a meeting or having a big conference or something like that, what's the atmosphere like when you're working with folks that are like you, other folks that are interested in this world?
Fun.
Yeah?
It's fun. It's definitely business casual.
Nobody's wearing a suit and tie is what you're telling me, Hunter?
No.
Now, you mentioned earlier that right now at home, probably watching, there are several people, several Penrods, sounds like, who are watching right now.
Oh, yeah.
Is that exciting for you or nerve-wracking for you to know that they're all watching?
Bit of both.
So you go home, and then everybody's going to be real nice, right? That's what's going to happen. Everybody will be real nice and say, good job.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Okay.
I'm sure they will, but.
So when you talk about FFA and you talk about sort of that experience, what do you hope that when you're through your time, what do you hope that you will have learned or accomplished as part of what you did in FFA?
A lot of people skills. I wasn't ever really good with people, but being in FFA, being a part of something, getting to know people a lot like me, it's definitely helped me progress as a person and as a person of society. Like learning that there are things that I will learn to do that I don't know yet. Learning what to do when I don't know, which is always ask people around you. No, it's nice. I just want to be a better person through FFA.
And you find that so far that's helping, right?
So far, yeah. So far, yeah.
Well, good. Now, when you think about the future, right? I'm sure you get this question all the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you're in high school, college, people always ask you, what do you want to do with your life? What do you think you're going to do? Do you think you're going to stay with the world of farming?
I'd like to. I'd really like to. But I really am leaning more towards the DNR officer, Department of Natural Resources. I love the wilderness. I like being outside, being outdoors. It's always been me. I want to continue that. And I want the people that I love and the people in my future, I want them to have the same stuff I've got. Like I want my kids to be able to play in the woods all they want.
Well, I'm a man of the great indoors, Hunter, so that's where you'd have to really convince me of that. So let's thank you, Hunter, for being here. We appreciate you being here tonight. And just one more thing real quick. Tell us a little bit about this experience of being on television. What's that been like for you?
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. I'm a bit camera shy.
He was a little worried he might pass out, but you did great. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And best of luck to you in your future. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And you make this all possible. If you're enjoying a program right now where we're talking to folks from your community, we hope that you'll give us a call and become a member of Ball State PBS. You make this happen. You make people like Hunter very nervous on television. Yeah. So we'll go back now to Brandon and Sarah.
Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Phil. You know, Ball State PBS has been a part of the community for 50 years. We went on the air October 31st, 1971. Think back for a moment to all the places you've been and the experiences you've had with Ball State PBS through that time. We've taken you on a deep dive into subjects you want to learn more about with Nova and nature, given you the best seat in the house with Masterpiece and great performances, provided your kids an opportunity to explore new ideas with Molly of Denali and Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, a favorite of my kids when they were younger. And we've taken a local look at public affairs and health with the Roundtable and Wellness Matters. Call now to make sure that we can continue to bring you the programs you count on. 1-800-252-9472 or go online at ballstatepbs.org. And with your qualifying contribution, you can take advantage of a special member benefit called Passport. Pbs Passport brings you thousands of hours of great PBS and local programs whenever you want on the PBS app, your streaming player, phone, or tablet. You can catch up on shows you may have missed or revisit some of your favorites. And the best part is you can watch whenever you want. I love PBS Passport because there is such a great selection of fascinating documentaries and series. It's just another one of the great benefits of supporting this Ball State PBS station.
Thanks again to all the sponsors who support this program, and thanks to all of you who called in and joined the Ball State PBS family tonight to support what you love. We've got some more people who've called in. Brandon, who?
We do. Megan Deckman, thanks for calling in with your support tonight. Megan says, we live in Eaton and we love seeing Grandma Linda in the story about high school in the 50s. That was a great segment. Thank you for calling, Megan.
Great. Morgan Wells of Eaton. She also called and she's giving a shout out to Grandma and Grandpa Dale and Bob Showalter. She said that he started the police department and she was the first gas day queen in Eaton.
I love it. I love it. Thank you to Tiffany Wagner for reaching out tonight. Tiffany says, great place to grow up, grateful to give back to the community. We are grateful for you, Tiffany, giving back to Ball State PBS tonight.
Definitely, thank you. And thank you to Mildred Spinola. She says she loves Eaton, small town feeling, and she says to say hi to the Mitchell children.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great. Those are all my thank yous.
Same here. So if you're currently a member of Ball State PBS, whether you give every month or every year, thank you. Every contribution you make to this station strengthens our community by ensuring everyone has equal access to the resources here on Ball State PBS, allowing us to provide programming you trust, programming that informs and entertains, and programming that makes a difference. An easy way to support Ball State PBS is by becoming a sustaining member. As a sustaining member, you never have to worry about renewing your support. You sign up to have your contribution automatically deducted from your bank account or your credit card, and then it's all set. You can choose to give any amount, $5 a month, $10, $20. It takes just a few minutes to set up your sustaining membership. Call now, 1-800-252-9472, or go online at ballstatepbs.org to let us know you support the shows that only Ball State PBS can bring you, like Now Entering.
Thanks again to the wonderful residents of Eaton for sharing their stories and for volunteering their time. And if you haven't made that call yet tonight to support Ball State PBS and the wonderful local programs you can only see here, there is still time. 1-800-252-9472 or go online to ballstatepbs.org. With your gift of $60 or a monthly gift of $5 a month, we'll send you the Now Entering Eaton DVD as a thank you. Or if you can give a little more with an annual gift of $108 or $9 a month, we'll send you 2 DVDs as a thank you gift. There's lots of bonus material on the DVD not seen in tonight's broadcast, so make that call now. And a special thanks to everybody who used the hashtag tonight, who called in. A big thank you to all of our volunteers answering the phone tonight.
Yay.
Thank
They
you,
did a
gang.
great job.
You've been wonderful.
They did a great job.
You've been wonderful. It's been a blast sharing the stage with all of you tonight and with all of our great storytellers from Eaton. Now Entering is a great local program because it's your town, your stories told by you. We hope you've enjoyed learning more about Eaton. And if you want to see your town as a Now Entering town, let us know. We are excited to announce that for our next Now Entering episode, airing in early summer, we will be traveling to Cicero, Indiana. Cicero, we're coming to you.
Great.
Thanks for joining us tonight, and thanks for supporting your local PBS station, Ball State PBS. Good night.
Night.